Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have ourselves a Terran versus Zerg on the map Galactic process. Should be a pretty good game between these two players, as they are players who play at a very high level. So without further ado, spawning up on the top right hand side of the map, it is E.G. Xenocider, a Terran player, not necessarily playing full-time or anything like that, but watching any of his games, they're definitely a treat. Now, his opponent, spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, showing up a bit more recently in tournaments and whatnot, it is Roots PandaBearMe. So, standard Terran versus Zerg. This is a map in which Terran tends to be hyper aggressive by all means, and since it's a player like Xenocider, I think we can definitely expect that here. Going for a standard Reaper expand, seemingly looking like, oh, never mind, here we see a second barracks coming up. So this game is going to open up with two barracks Reapers, and basically what this is he's going to be making Reapers and trying to harass. The question is whether he'll throw up another barracks here. If he throws up another barracks, he could try to kill the Zerg player straight out just by snowballing with Reapers and their harassment and just trying to kill the Zerg early on, as Zerg does not have that much to defend Reapers. And now Overlords for PandaBearMe are going to get across the map, but from the positioning of the barracks here, okay, there are two more barracks going down, so this is going to be a heavy commitment to these Reapers by Xenocider. So that's how this game is going to open up here, and Xenocider's just going to start making Reapers, and he's not going to stop here. Walling off on the low ground with these barracks, he's going to want to be safe from counterattacks, as Zerg players often do try to counterattack a Terran player who's going for something like Reapers, which leaves them vulnerable. First Reaper across the map, PandaBearMe. He has yet to see if there's barracks. It might be good if he moves his Overlord right, as Terrans often do this. He's going to see the supply depot here. It's going to tip him off, as the supply depot is not usually built out there by a Terran. He's going to see one barracks, and right now he's going to think, okay, I'm being Reaper cheesed, as he's already seen one Reaper, caught a glimpse of another. He now knows, so he's going to be in full-on panic mode right now. He needs to try and lose nothing. So far he's lost a Ling. I believe he saved a drone by making a building and canceling it. He wants to keep as many drones as alive, but most importantly, he doesn't want to fall victim to Reaper snowballing here. Reapers, their grenades, their KDA charges, is a little grenade that they can throw on the ground, and it will do so much, it does so much damage to Zerg early on here. Like this grenade, it forces the Zerg player, PandaBearMe, not to move out, so these Reapers can protect themselves and just chip away at the Zerg here. PandaBearMe did throw up a Roach Warren to try and hold this off, so Xenocider still pumping out Reapers, but he is going to have some sort of stronger opposition soon, but whether he'll snowball or not is really the question. Four Lings are up, just sort of dancing around, trying to keep these Reapers back. However, these Reapers for Xenocider are getting into the main base of PandaBearMe here. We see one of the Reapers getting shot by these Queens, but pulling back. Good micro from Xenocider. He's a player who, while he doesn't necessarily play too much these days, he's still got very crisp control. A Roach does pop out there, though, and pick off one of the Reapers. 5 Reapers are out, 3 at a time. Xenocider is starting to transition out of this. He's getting up a command center on the low ground, so he's not putting all his eggs in this basket anymore. A Roach was transformed into a Ravager to save it from the Reapers. Their Ravagers also have one more range than Reapers, so that makes them better at dealing with these Reapers. Well, they have one more range than a Roach, so the Reapers can't exactly pop in and shoot them without taking as much damage. Now we see Xenocider, though, in heavy transition mode. He's got 2 reactors on the way on these barracks, but PandaBearMe sees this, so PandaBearMe is going right back into droning here. He knows that the main threat is over. These Reapers can always pop in, get a bit of damage here and there. However, PandaBearMe knows that he's more or less safe now. Xenocider, like most Terran players, whenever a build like this doesn't work out, they quickly go into 3CCs, they throw up all their production, and now Xenocider is going to be the one who may need to try and hold on here. This one Marine is starting to work on that Overlord. Is it going to get to safety? Yes. Oh, not quite. Overlords can be safe up on that high ground, but not quite in position. PandaBearMe more focused on these Reapers there. Oh, but that Overlord does get to safety. Or does it? Not quite. Okay, it is now safe. Xenocider's poking around trying to get it, and that Overlord's just looking down upon them. Okay, so we have Stimpack common follow-up. The Terran's going to want to go into heavy drops behind this, hoping that he's done enough economic damage to set PandaBearMe back enough that these drops will be able to do heavy damage. And right now, Xenocider's almost on 2 fully saturated bases. The worker counts are even, which benefits the Terran player. The third CC is finishing up, so right now, straight up economy-wise, Xenocider's in a decent position. Look at that. So cute. These grenades can even kill off creep tumors if they're thrown in the right position. Ravagers, though, picking off one of those Reapers. Their numbers are now dwindling. Only 4 left. But still, potential to hop into the main base or hop into the third, maybe even the natural, and pick off a few drones here and there. Any damage is good damage with them at this point. We now see 1-1 on the way for both players. PandaBearMe choosing to go for that ranged missile attack, as he was forced to go into Roaches and Ravagers here. Lair on the way for PandaBearMe, so possibly going to be getting out Roach speed here, maybe Mutas, but most likely just going to stick to this Roach Ravager style. More barracks going up for Xenocider. Third command center landed, so he's in a very good economic position here. If we look at the income, Xenocider is on par or ahead when he drops some mules, so good economic position. He's getting up all his tech, and I'd say that this arguably favors the Terran player, but it's not the worst situation in the world for PandaBearMe here. We now see, though, Xenocider moving out. This is early on. He's just going to go in with his finished up stimmed army. His stim pack has done 2 medivacs are out, so this is looking like a Terran move out that they do so often, but of course it's after the Reapers this time. We now see the 1-1 actually going to finish up for Xenocider, so this is going to be a bit of a scary timing. The Marines do not have combat shield, but PandaBearMe is still going to have to take this threat very seriously. PandaBearMe up on supply. Both of their upgrades are going to be finishing up at similar times if we look on the right here, but for now it seems that Xenocider is just content clearing up creep. Going to sort of force PandaBearMe back to an uncomfortable position. Look at this. Queen's moved out for PandaBearMe to try and clear up some creep, but Xenocider picking them off now. Upgrades finishing up for both players here, so they're both going to be even on 1-1. There is no armory. There is an armory for Xenocider, so Xenocider going to be able to start his 2-2 right away here. And there we go, it's on the way, so he's now setting himself up for an upgrade lead further down the road here. Meanwhile, PandaBearMe just making more Roaches. He's getting Ling speed, I guess, if he wants to go for potential counterattacks. Getting up an Infestation Pit. PandaBearMe might choose to go for some melee upgrades now if he is going to be going for Ultralisk later on in this game. But for now, he's certainly making a lot of Lings. PandaBearMe could potentially be going for an attack, but it's not likely here. Xenocider, 2 medivacs, just these Marines not wanting to be unloaded to the third or the main base here. PandaBearMe, very good defense here, is all prepared, except for at the natural here, as Xenocider moves in with another army. That was a bit unexpected, but it should have been expected, as a player like Xenocider always trying to hit multiple angles, and now that he pulled PandaBearMe out, he's dropping into the third base. He's going to start picking PandaBearMe apart here. PandaBearMe, though, still has a large bulk to this army, so he can definitely push these drops back. The supply isn't the issue, it's just the amount of units, and look at this, 20 drones have gone down here. Xenocider now heading to the main base. He sees the Infestation Pit, but there's no hive on the way. 2-2 is definitely behind for PandaBearMe, so he's going to be in a very tough situation if he wants to come back into this game. Another drop at the third base, well, at the would-be fourth base for Xenocider. Knocking PandaBearMe back to 3 bases here, dropping at the third. Again, these drops from Xenocider are absurd right now. He's just hitting everywhere. He's getting up tanks, he's getting up more barracks. I don't know how PandaBearMe is going to be able to hang on here, as he does have infestors on the way, but I don't think he got pathogen glands, so that's not going to be too effective. He's going to have to wait for those infestors to build up energy. He's only on 3 bases, and he's been on 3 bases for quite a while. A Zerg player needs to get up to 4 bases if they want to stay in this game. Tanks out for Xenocider. He's going to start having he's going to be able to solidify his army with these tanks in place and possibly even kill PandaBearMe with this push that's moving in. Xenocider now up on army supply. PandaBearMe just churning out roaches right now. He does have the infestors, and they should have enough energy for 1 fungal by the time the attack hits. But this is going to be such a tough hold for PandaBearMe if he wants to hang on. He's possibly going to have to cancel this 4th base, and I think that's almost definitely. These fungals could be very huge, though. He needs to get great fungals comboed with corrosive bile, pick off the tanks, but for now, these tanks are just starting to pick apart this army. PandaBearMe is going in for it. He's had enough. Is he going to lock down these tanks? Yes, he does with the corrosive bile, and he actually gets all the siege tanks there. Very well done by PandaBearMe. Now the army of Xenocider is starting to fall. The corrosive biles are going to deal massive damage to this bile. The roach buffer is gone for PandaBearMe though, but it seems he does have enough to force back this army of Xenocider. Xenocider though still up on supply. PandaBearMe raining corrosive biles down to zone this army back. However, the main point here is the 4th base survived, but the infestors are gone. They're out of energy. They're irrelevant right now. And Xenocider's actually just going to focus down that 4th base. I think he might have even been able to trade with that army there. Following it up with another drop. The hive is done for PandaBearMe right now, so he is going to be able to tech into Ultralisk maybe into Broodlords. Most likely to be Ultras though, but doing this on such a low economy is a challenge. Right now the players are even on economy, but look at the main base. The main base is mined out, not to mention being dropped in. The natural starting to mine out, the 3rd base even starting to mine out. This is a tough situation for PandaBearMe. Trying to get up a 4th base again, cancels, replaces it. So many Ravagers though for PandaBearMe. If he gets fungals on this army, he'll be able to just absolutely bury that army in corrosive bile here. We now see a Queen and a Feelings trying to clear up this drop. That drop actually will go down, so defense is starting to look a little more crisp for PandaBearMe, but Xenocider's scanning the potential other 4th base for PandaBearMe, and he now knows that he's in a great situation right now. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way for PandaBearMe, so this is going to give him sort of another stage of his army. He'll be able to force Xenocider to attack, but oh, the Infestor's getting picked off. A fungal forced out just by a handful of bile. Oh, that is massive for Xenocider. 5 more Infestors on the way for PandaBearMe, but suddenly this army has lost a lot of its potential. It seems that PandaBearMe is considering going for a push as he is up on army supply, but it's going to be hard to do that now without these Infestors. Very well done by Xenocider, possibly saving himself there. We now see PandaBearMe actually heading towards the 3rd base for Xenocider. Meanwhile, Xenocider moving towards the 4th base for PandaBearMe. Xenocider, is he going to continue to go in? This is sort of an awkward position here. The players sort of out-mind-gamed each other with their harassments. It seems that Xenocider deciding to come back, though. He wants to be the defensive player, and he's got a planetary fortress here. And look at this. There's actually just so many Ravagers for Xenocider, well, for PandaBearMe right now, but the tanks for Xenocider do drop there. A good number of them go down. These Ravagers raining corrosive biles, but there is not really a buffer for them. So they are not going to take the most efficient trade right now. So much of Xenocider's army is actually in Medivacs right now. How many Medivacs does he have? 9. That is an absurd amount. Right now, though, this situation isn't too terrible for PandaBearMe. He's got Lings that are re-rallying up with this army. He's going to be able to let them take a bit of a better trade here, possibly even get on top of that siege tank right now. So it seems that PandaBearMe is somehow bringing this back. Xenocider, I guess maybe getting a bit ahead of himself there. Somehow PandaBearMe is coming back into this game. Xenocider floated his main base to the gold base to try and come back here. For now, though, Xenocider's identified that there's Ultralisk on the way. He's throwing up more starports, a fusion core. He's going to be going into mass liberators to deal with this. 3-3 is done for Xenocider, so he's going to have a massive upgrade advantage. It is going to be 3-3 versus 1-2. That is an absolutely absurd upgrade advantage. These Ultralisk will have chitinous plating here, so they will have good armor upgrades, 6 armor, but if they had +3 armor, they would be in a much better situation. In Ultralisk here, actually, I was going to say getting picked off, but it's so tanky. Oh, it might actually go down. It does survive, though. Ooh, Corrosive Vials hitting some of PandaBearMe's own army. We now see, though, that 4th base is up for PandaBearMe. He can start to transfer all the workers he need, and he's also shut down the potential 4th base for Xenocider for the time being. Ling run by, gonna be getting into them, gonna want to move, stop attacking these barracks and go into the main base, well, into the 3rd base of Xenocider. We now see Xenocider moving into the natural, gonna focus down this hatchery, but it's not the most important hatchery right now. As long as he keeps this medivacs alive, though, it is a good pick-off. Oh, something happened along here. I believe it was another drop, moved in, tried to pick off that 4th base there, but ultimately was shut down just in time by PandaBearMe. We now see Xenocider redropping all this bio. Now, that's a significant portion of his bio. Back at home, he only has a handful of Liberators and a small amount of bio. The Corrosive Bio is going to knock those Liberators down, and now Xenocider, he suddenly is in a bad situation right now. These Ultras, yeah, sure, Xenocider has better upgrades, but these Ultras are just so tough, going to destroy that planetary fortress with the help of the Ravagers. Now, the natural base possibly going to be pushed in by PandaBearMe. Yes, it is. We are sort of entering a base trade right now, but I'd say this benefits the Zerg player as the Terran's bio will slowly be whittled down. With Xenocider focusing down all the hatcheries he can right now. So, in fact, PandaBearMe's only on 1 base, and he doesn't have enough to rebuild that base right now. These drones are actually going to bring him just the right amount. So Xenocider is going to have to get away, and he didn't quite get what he needed. If he wanted to force this game into a draw, he would have needed to kill that hive. So for now, the Xenocider not in the best situation, but it seems that he actually is, though. I shouldn't have even said that. PandaBearMe had so much over on Xenocider's side of the map, but I guess it sort of was whittled down, pulled back, not in the best situation right now. And right now, Xenocider is mining off a 4th base. He's got that, well, what remains of his 3rd base here. We see the Ultras for Xenocider, well, for PandaBearMe, gonna try to move in Liberator for Xenocider. All siege up right now, but all but 2 of them go down. These Raptors, though, Corrosive Bile on cooldown, finally being launched once more. Needs to pick them off, but no, he doesn't actually focus down the Liberators. And as a matter of fact, it seems that Xenocider might have taken this game 30 army supply to 80. And I think PandaBearMe, he almost managed to bring it back, but I guess he didn't. Xenocider, with a great move, focusing down all the hatcheries as the Zerg didn't have too many hatcheries for this stage in the game. And now look at this, 5 Liberators moving across the map. PandaBearMe wanting to stay in this game, give it a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. 1 Spore Crawler has to try and deal with 5 Liberators, which are just going to shut down mining on this base. The income's abysmal for PandaBearMe. I don't think there's much more of this story to tell. PandaBearMe probably just saying, oh no, this isn't good. As this is actually a game from a qualifier for a $30,000 tournament, so PandaBearMe obviously wants to be one of the players to qualify, and I think this was actually possibly the qualifying match. And it seems that Xenocider is going to take it here. PandaBearMe trying to go for some more harassment. Infestors threw out some infested Terran, but it doesn't matter. Very well played by Xenocider, opening up with that sort of cheeky cheese, but in the end, he managed to seal the deal. It did get a bit dicey, though. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I shall see you next time.